Welcome to our first live show that's not live. No bad shots. We had some technical difficulties, if I can speak right, with our YouTube channel, and it's my fault. So you can blame me, not Alyssa.
100% your fault, and I'm so okay with. I'm kidding. You're handling a lot of the technical stuff, so not easy to handle. But I am pumped to be here for the NFL draft recap.
Whoa, is that official?
Yeah.
Wait, did you go to the draft?
Official NFL draft polo quarter zip kind of thing. I got it when I worked at UW, and they had like 4 defensive players go.
Oh, I thought you ran a 40 and did your vert. I wasn't sure what the whole situation was
So
there.
that's my blue. I have a blue one that I got from that time when I went to the combine and just decided not to go. Just decided to pursue a different career.
Well, let's hop right into it. Sorry. So
NFL draft round 1.
It was wild. So I was actually traveling while it was going on, so I was just literally flipping through my phone as quick as possible, just like seeing all the picks. And not obviously no shocker at the top. First and second were obvious, but like we talked about on our last episode,
the shocker, was it really the NFL draft or was it the Aaron Rodgers show? Because he dropped the news before anybody even got to do anything. So drama in Green Bay, and he's unhappy with his contract. So outside of Aaron Rodgers, yeah, no surprise. I mean, no surprises until we're pick 3. Yeah.
Wasn't that back to the Aaron Rodgers though? That was wild to be set up on the day of the draft, hours before Adam Schefter. You literally, his team releases the info to Adam Schefter to drop on the whole NFL, because obviously that's going to be the biggest news. You know it.
100%.
It blew my mind.
It was crazy, but not super surprising. And I saw a few tweets about like people being happy that they stole the limelight from the Seahawks quarterback drama, because now he's truly unhappy. He made it clear he's not accepting his restructured contract. He's not about it, wants an extension, and they were not really working with him. And my favorite other tweet was Shannon Sharp saying that he's joining the Nets, like the next MVP joining the Nets with the ball. So because they're grabbing all the superstars, and he's just going to piece, and at least somebody will pass on that team. It will be Aaron Rodgers. Yes.
Speaking of that tweet, that is hilarious.
Here it is.
They use Joe Harris's body.
Yep.
They use Joe Harris's
body. Just a natural. It fits way too well. So, and then they really helped out Aaron Rodgers this year. Green Bay drafting a corner out of Georgia, Eric Stokes, with the number 29 pick. So we obviously know Jordan Love is there as quarterback last year in the first round. Things are kind of messy in Green Bay, and I'm all for it.
Me too. Like I texted you, I was worried that all this drama was going to lead to San Francisco trading the 3rd pick and getting Aaron Rodgers on San Francisco. And I was like, that's the last thing we want as Seahawks fans.
I would hate, double hate, loathe entirely if that happened. And you talked about him being like a California dude, so it's not that surprising. But that's all I have to say about Aaron Rodgers and pre-draft drama.
For real. So let's hop into the draft, where we start with really basically the 3rd pick, because the 1st and 2nd were been locked for a while now, and it came down to
with those first 2 picks. One thing that's never going to be forgotten, if Zach Wilson turns out to be a bust, or if he turns out to be way better than Trevor Lawrence, which is super unlikely, I know, but everyone's going to remember that 23-16 win by the Jets last year, giving over the Browns, giving the Jacksonville Jaguars the number 1 pick. Remember, like, Jets were like, for sure, we got that number 1 pick. Trevor Lawrence is coming to us. That game, that win against the Browns, gave that pick to Jacksonville, and that gave them Trevor Lawrence. So I'm super curious how that turns out in like 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, it really will. And even just Trevor Lawrence, like, to see where both of them are sitting. Because like you said, if those draft picks switched around, they would both have, the quarterbacks would be switched around in a way. So it would be really intriguing. But back to that 3rd pick with San Fran, we talked about it. San Francisco was talking about Mac Jones and Trey Lance. Apparently. And they take Trey Lance with the 3rd. He's had I think I saw a stat. He's had 400 dropbacks in his college career, which is very minimal. Very minimal. I've had 400 dropbacks, and that's just to the refrigerator. And so, and it just, I get what they're doing. They have Jimmy G there. He's always hurt. They want to back up. They want someone to learn under him. But it's an interesting pick. I mean, like we talked about, quarterbacks are the hottest thing now. They really are.
Oh yeah, and they did the best job ever of using the media, like their little game pieces, to put out that they wanted Mac Jones. And I don't know how honest they're being about like, oh, Trey Lance was our guy the whole time, but they kind of wrote it like, I don't know who it was, if it was Todd McShay, if it was, you know, if it was Adam Schefter, like saying that the 49ers were chasing Mac Jones, they wanted him the most. San Francisco would have burned to the ground last night, I think, if they would have chosen Mac Jones. They were not happy about that idea being floated around. And Trey Lance, I mean, the thing is, though, Trey Lance and Mac Jones have similar numbers and experience in college games. Obviously, you've got FCS versus FBS, though. I mean, what Mac Jones went against an SEC defenses night in, night out was way tougher. But everybody's talking about how much of the leader Trey Lance is and how intelligent he is, like way beyond his years. And then the other Adam Schefter tweet that I saw, the 49ers did not tell their coaches or scouts their pick. They didn't know the team was selecting Trey Lance until the pick was announced. Which coaches, I don't know. It seemed like Shanahan on SVP afterward was totally in the loop with John Lynch and all that. But
yeah,
like to keep it that much of a secret, that's wild. They did a really good job of keeping Trey Lance under the covers.
Definitely. And obviously they're on the same page. They have to be. There's no way that they're not. You know what I mean?
But how do you not trust Shefty's tweet? Like, why would he tweet that?
I don't know, man. They're feeding Shefty. They're feeding Shefty some BS. They're feeding him BS. Shefty gets some wrong.
He'll take it all.
You can't get them all right.
They didn't scoop any picks, thank God.
Exactly.
Atlanta, not much of a surprise. Kyle Pitts, freak athlete, alien. You got to go for him. You got to grab him at 4. They decide not to go QB. They're going to give Matty Ice.
Matty, he looks like he's running in ice. He looks like he's running in ice all the time. He's so slow, but he can throw the ball. I don't get me wrong. I like Matt.
Still got it.
But the whole thing, like with even they were talking about trading Julio Jones during draft day. They were talking about all that, and they end up keeping him along with. So now you got Calvin Ridley, you got Julio Jones, you got Kyle Pitts. They got some good young running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no excuse now. Defense. And a new coach and an offensive coach. They have all that. It'll be interesting to see what Atlanta can do.
And they lost almost all of their games by like 1 score. They were so close at the end of the game. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how they do this year. And then they also didn't go. Well, yeah, I guess no surprise because Justin Fields was still on the board. Mac Jones was still on the board. Did you like Mac Jones's wink to the camera, like right off the top? I don't know if you saw that. He was like looking down and he looked up and he was like,
yeah, I did. I didn't see that, but I saw like a video after the fact, and him going to the Patriots is just funny in general to me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean, his body of his picture after the title game with him with the cigar, and then like I saw the side by side of him and Tom Brady. And it just cracks me up with them with their shirt off. It reminds me of myself.
Wait, because we're already here and we're talking about Mac Jones, can we go to Twitter again and show you the Bill Belichick, his walk? Because the walk that Mac Jones had to the stage was so weird. It was just like he looked so weird. Like it go to likes. You're not on likes.
Oh, this is the Shannon Sharp tweet. My bad.
Yeah.
See, I'm a rookie on here.
Yeah. Have you ever used Twitter before?
No, I'm not a big Twitter guy. You are. Oh, here we go.
There you go. I don't know if you can turn up volume because someone tweeted this, like father, like son. Look at his walk. That's just so different. I don't know.
It is
like unsure of himself. He's like walking to the front of the line at Costco or, I don't know. But someone tweeted, fixed it. Go to the other one.
He looks like he's got something stuck in him. He's really walking tight. He reminds me of like a 50-year-old white coach like Bill Belichick.
Go down a little bit. I know what you mean by stuck in him. Up. in a certain place. Okay,
That was funny too.
scroll up.
Up.
It's someone said fixed
Oh,
it
right
for
here.
you, and then you got to turn the volume up.
Oh, I don't. Can you guys
Does
hear
it go?
that? I
No.
can hear it.
Okay.
You guys can hear
It's
it.
like the
But
Star
it's
Wars.
the Darth
Dun,
Vader
dun,
one.
dun, dun. It's so good.
But then they come out right away and say Cam Newton's our guy.
Yeah. Well, of course.
But
Mac Jones is not ready.
it's funny how like
Andy
they have to say
Dalton. They're
that.
saying Andy Dalton is Chicago's guy. Come on.
Oh
It's
man,
not
the tweets with
happening.
that were funny, especially like the Barstool guys that are all tied with the Chicago Bears tight. They
Oh,
were
so good. Big
they
Cat saying the Bears.
they're back. They're back until Fields doesn't play at all.
That pick was crazy because Mac Jones was still on board and everybody had Mitchell Trubisky PTSD. Like they traded up obviously from 20 to 13 to go for who? And it was like Mac Jones or uh, Justin Fields. And if you did, everyone says like the draft. Like, yes, Trey Lance is good at 3. That was a fun surprise instead of Mac Jones. Not super surprising, but then I think Chicago trading up is hands down the best choice by Chicago, the best choice of the first round.
Yeah, definitely. This draft is funny because it's the draft of teammates because we have these are just some of the highlighted ones, but you have, I mean, even Jamar Chase going, what is it, 5, and he's obviously an unbelievable player.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to go that high, obviously, like Cincinnati, they need receivers. They got some good players there with T. Higgins, and it just seemed like they just did this to make Joe Burrow happy and get his ex teammate and tie them back together on how they had one of the best college runs as an offense in the history of NCAA football.
And you have to think he was probably giving advice, but why not go for an offensive lineman at some point?
Exactly.
You could have grabbed Sewell.
Exactly. And that's what they need.
Year.
That's what they need.
Yeah. Didn't they have 2 picks in the first round? And they didn't get, oh no, they only had 1.
They only had 1.
Yeah, they got to go grab a O lineman today. Have to. But then there was Miami picking Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama with Alabama QB, Tua Tagovailoa with the Miami Dolphins. So that's going to be those two together.
Wait. No, no. Jalen went to Detroit. Or wait, no, that they traded. They traded. That's right. They traded.
Yeah.
Wait, why is this all messed up on mine? Mine's saying, I know Sewell, the guy from Oregon, went to Detroit. Did they trade that with Miami?
Yeah. No.
Okay, this is just messed up.
No, Detroit got Sewell. And shout out to our producer guy, Joe, who's a Detroit Lions fan.
Big Detroit Lions.
We're like, so sorry, Panay. Poor Panay going to Detroit. There's some rebuilding going on for the rest of their lives out there. But, you know, at least you never get your hopes crushed. You never get too disappointed in Detroit. Who was your best dressed? Because I think it was Jalen Waddle.
Well, so I didn't get a chance to see it, but so I just got to see the second.
Oh, right. You were
IG. I got to see it through IG, but I did see his, and that video of him when he gets announced and then just dips away from his family is awesome.
Yeah, he stands up and he literally looks at them. Someone called it like an Irish exit. Like stands up, walks away.
I've been a part of a couple of those. I've been accused of doing some Irish exits before.
In what scenarios?
Just out with friends, and then didn't say goodbye and I left. Yeah, just gone. And then they're like, "Oh, Irish goodbye." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, guys, leave me alone." Okay,
You're not a guy to give goodbye taps.
No, not a. I'm a big dap guy, but certain situations it's just not. It's just not me. This is great though.
Everybody is
out.
So fun.
I'm out of there. I'm out of there.
Exit stage left.
He is dressed good though.
Lost. Yeah, he's got the serious chain. That was one of my favorites. And how much did we miss, like, not being in everybody's home? Like, it was cool last year. They made it work, but having some guys actually there was awesome to see. And Roger Goodell bear hugs. Roger Goodell thinking he's funny. He's like, "Come on, Cleveland," because he wanted everyone to boo him. That was instantly annoying and really set the mood. Like, this is perfect. People aren't actually booing you. You just want it so that you can't get offended. And he brought his little chair from the basement, his Mr. Rogers chair. But
what did you think of Jacksonville going and getting Travis Etienne to pair with Trevor Lawrence? That's another one.
That was interesting. A lot of people don't love that one because running back wise, like he was great at Clemson. He had some great games, but do you really need a lot of people were saying like add to their defense or add to help protect Trevor a little bit. I don't know how good their O line is.
Yeah,
But I
for
like
real.
it. I like having partners together. I like people partnering up together and going from college to the pros because that's a direct like scouting report. Them asking Trevor, "Hey, how do you feel about ETN?" And then asking Burrow, "Hey, how do you feel about this dude?" And then Tua, "How do you feel about Waddle?" Like obviously, you don't really need to ask Tua how you feel about Waddle because the country sees he's a freak athlete. But I thought that was cool. And what about Denver? Because Denver, like they have Drew Lock and who else they have at quarterback? Oh, Teddy Bridgewater. And they passed up, like they grabbed Pat Surtain Jr., who was a great athlete. You want to go for best prospects, but you are not secure in your quarterback. Like Drew Lock is
Oh,
not going to bring you a Super Bowl. Is Teddy Bridgewater maybe? He's got more experience, but come on. How do you not go for Justin Fields at that point? You're number 9.
yeah, they're staying pretty basic with it. They still have like Drew Lock is obviously not for sure on anything. He can be good sometimes, and then sometimes he looks awful. And then
Mm-hmm.
Bridgewater is just like the steady guy that's like, okay, we can win half our games with him and lose half our games with him. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make sense. Just the way the NFL is now, you need a quarterback, or at least take a risk on a quarterback. I mean, the way like the way it is now, if I'm a general manager, you got to go grab one, especially if you don't have one. It takes the pressure off you too as like a
John
general manager.
Elway.
Yeah, well, he is. We know his
What are
decision
we doing?
making. We've seen his
There
decision making
wasn't a
with Joe
quarterback tall
Flacco,
enough.
Or Brock Osweiler. We got two big guys that, or I mean, Brock Osweiler's chilling on Lake Coeur d'Alene now, so that just tells you that,
Yeah, with loads of
and
money. He's doing just fine.
doing just fine. What other things
What
surprised you in this first round?
um I think Dallas going and giving Philly, just 2 picks ahead in their division, their biggest rival. I mean, both teams have been absolute trash the last couple years, but giving that up and then they take Micah Parsons. I mean, some people say that Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive prospects in the draft because he's so versatile, but to give that up, I mean, you could have given Philly their quarterback. I don't know how much they love Jalen Hurts or if they wanted to surround him with somebody, but you could have given a lot to your divisional opponent right there. And I don't know. It kind of depends on how Micah Parsons does, and it matters that they didn't give the 5th option to Leighton Vander Esch, the Boise
Yeah.
State guy, which cool. I'm so happy with a Boise State Bronco not getting a 5th-year option.
Well, they've been injury
Get out of
prone
here.
too. They've been injury prone there at
Yeah,
that position with both of them, him and Sean Lee, who Sean Lee
true.
retired, right? Is what I saw. Is that true?
I don't
Or am I
know. I
wrong?
don't know.
I
I
think he
can't
did hang it up
confirm
as
or
it
deny.
was after 11 years, and he was a good player, but those guys have been consistently hurt.
Yeah, yeah. I think the other surprise for me was Arizona, Zaven Collins, linebacker. People are
Yeah,
calling like Denver and Arizona the worst picks because they just didn't Isaiah. Oh wait, no, Isaiah Simmons last year.
yeah,
I don't know. What other surprises were there for you? Raiders were awful. That was interesting, not awful. Good
yeah.
tweets about that one.
I mean, there's so many. It's just like it's so wide receiver heavy.
Hmm.
I like the Alabama running back. I think he's really good. Pittsburgh could use him.
Yeah, that was
Um,
a great choice.
but yeah, the amount of receivers, it's like some of these teams could use that and they didn't get them. I don't know.
I know, and this is but I mean, a lot of guys fall to second
Yeah,
round too. You still have, super
true.
heavy and a lot of talent in the second round. So maybe they're thinking that. But one of my favorite tweets was PFT from Pardon My Take about the Raiders because they selected Alex Leatherwood, who's a tackle from Alabama. And he said, just a classic case of Gruden choosing a guy for his last name, falling in love with the last name.
Look at this
Leatherwood.
picture too. Look at this picture
Leatherwood. I
post
like
human, peak human, peak human pictures of their owner, Mark Davis.
that. Mark
Oh
Davis.
man,
Gotta love it. The bangs.
that was actually
Unbeatable.
That was actually a weird draft pick that they went with him out of all the people they could have got.
Because there's like two other offensive linemen that were more highly praised, but it's an Alabama dude. And how often do you go wrong with Alabama dudes? I don't know. I think it's not terrible, but
it's not terrible. But it's Mike Mayock and John Gruden, so these are supposed to be the alleged draft experts.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anyone else who was honestly after like 18 or 19. I was like, this is taking too long.
You were asleep. It is crazy long because I went through a whole basketball game and it was still going on. I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, holy cow, they're still on pick 22. Like, what's going on?
Right? 32 picks and it takes like a million years.
How about we go through some of these tweets then that you liked for our
on our
Twitter.
Shameless plug. Follow at Bad Shots Pod.
Go follow it. You can see me getting blocked at the rim, and you can see the tweets. And we need to get more active on there for sure. Which
we do.
I'm guilty of.
Yeah, I'll give all the blame to you again. You're a tech guy, and
that reminds me. I'm glad that this is the first one I've seen, but the Tim Tebow tight end workout for Jacksonville is unbelievably funny.
It's down there if you scroll down.
It's too funny.
Oh, I love it. Right there, yeah.
Is that Drake?
I'm ready, Trevor. Yeah, Drake.
Oh, man.
Whatever video that was from, I forget. But
why did Tim Tebow do that? Why did Tim Tebow do that when he was asked to switch positions? And then he didn't want to. Like when Tim Tebow, because he's serious about becoming or wants to do tight end. I read that's real, right? Or was that a joke?
It's been a joke, and then it's been real, and then it's been a joke again.
But I saw recently that though, like in the last, or that was just a joking article that I must have read.
I think it is serious because that's why people are tweeting about it. Like again, because he got cut, I think, from minor league baseball. Like they're done. Mets or whatever. I think it was Mets minor league, but
why did he do that the first time around when everybody's like, go play tight end, go play a different position? He's like, took too much pride. Like, no, I'm a quarterback or I'm not playing. I'm just like, come on, man. If you want to play football, play football. Figure a way where you can get you in there.
Yeah, you could be the best tight end out of Florida to ever come out of there. You could beat out Kyle Pitts, I'm sure, at age 34, however old he is.
Or he could be the best Old Spice commercial.
Yeah, exactly. And the Adam Sandler one about Packers.
I wish we had volume.
You're the best ever. You're so much better looking than me. You can't hear it, but that's what he's saying.
That's a classic line.
That is, I think NFL Draft Twitter is my favorite social media event in sports. I don't know if there's anything better.
Yeah, it's
Super
good.
Bowl close, but NFL Draft you get 3 days.
And you get 3 days, a lot.
Rise to the top.
Peter McGavin, the Andy Dalton era in Chicago will still be better than the Mitchell Trubisky. I feel bad for Mitch.
I do too. That's a bummer, but you got to step up. I mean, he never blamed other people, so I respect that. He never put it on others for his lack of success. And then Seahawks, our team, they didn't make any mistakes.
They didn't do anything.
Right. They didn't do anything wrong because they had no picks. They have 3 total. Obviously today, like I think probably they go defense. They could honestly use all 3 for defense because offensively, I mean, unless they go for offensive line to help Russell Wilson, but I don't know what kind of prospects you have. I love this one. Another one. Yeah. So yeah, Seahawks on the clock today. Finally, I think pick number 56, 3 total.
I was thinking about that. Just imagine being a player that you're watching the draft for your team and they take your position and you're just like, what the heck? Like,
cannot imagine. I mean, college basketball wise, it's almost like recruiting. If someone, if Verlin were to recruit someone exactly like you but better your position.
Well, they come on a visit and I show them that they can't take my position.
Oh, what do you do? Repeat that. It was really scary.
They walk in the room and I scare them. No,
don't come here. Give them bug bites, bed
But
bites, bed
it's
bugs. Woof.
it's just a little different. Like college is obviously different than the pros, but there's still a little bit similarity. But when it's money involved and you could lose your spot instantly, I don't know. I feel like it's different. There's a lot more seniority in college wise, as in I feel like coaches ride with players longer than they would in the pros because there's money based and so much more based off that. If that makes
Totally.
sense.
And you have to have adherence. You have to have discipline and basically like loyalty. And your
Yeah,
seniors are going to give you that. Your juniors are going to give you that more than like a freshman who doesn't. And discipline has no idea what
yeah.
you're going to go out there and do. Just go dribble around and bounce the ball off their foot like you did all the time and turn the ball over and
I was a high
make bad
turnover player.
passes.
I was a high
Are
turnover
you?
player.
Well, the ball
I
was in your
mean,
hands a lot.
a lot, a lot. So that's where I can use that excuse. But
Yeah.
I did make a lot of assists. So we'll
True.
Seahawks watching the Packers take quarterback Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
man,
good.
Russ.
But
We
that's
don't
it.
want to
That
lose Russ.
I got nothing else. We have to talk about Vandals that were drafted at some point because we are an
Yes,
Idaho Vandals podcast, kind of.
let's let's flip over to the Vandals that are. Do you want to start with the people that have been drafted or the people that are in the NFL as we speak?
Let's go just best drafted real quick. It's not a crazy big list, but
I know we
because
have
we're gonna have
20
like, I'm not
Vandal
trying to be mean,
followers.
but like, huh?
I said we have 20 Vandal followers that are diehards that
Woo!
would love to hear these, but yes.
Go Vandals. More to come, but I think the ones that really stand out, I mean, obviously, I think the biggest one is Mike Iupati, first round, 2010, round one, pick 17, four-time Pro Bowler, and he retired in February. Like we were talking last week, and I didn't even catch this because I have not been following Seahawks crazy heavily. He retired in February. A
I
lot of
did see
injuries, I
that.
get that, but
Sorry, I should have broke the news to you. I'm sorry.
yeah, what the heck? It came
Wait, you
down to me
said you
hard
said
yesterday. I was
2010? You said
by myself.
2010?
2010.
That's when he got drafted?
Yeah, that was our first year, right? You and me first year.
So he left the year before we got to Idaho. That's what that is. He wasn't there our freshman year. He didn't play.
No. He was gone. So he won the H Bowl, right? The Humanitarian Bowl. He was there for
That was
that. That was 2009, and then he got drafted that following spring.
he has 11. There's only 11 years. Gosh, it feels like he played for so
Yeah,
much longer to me. It felt like
I know it does feel like that. 11 seasons though.
NFL, but that's long in NFL. That's a long time in the NFL for sure.
It is. And can I tell my quick Mike Iupati story?
Yeah, I got a little one I'll throw in too after you're done.
I do. Okay, just don't make it better than mine because I don't want
No,
to like be
mine's
embarrassed.
not great. It's
Okay. I mean, mine's not like crazy detailed, but just to kind of like talk about who he is as a person and player. I met him on my visit at Idaho. So 2009 when they were in their H Bowl run, like right before all that happened. I guess it would have been, yeah, it would have been like a month before because it was November. What are you smiling, laughing about?
You must have had a way better visit than I did. That's what that was where'd they take you? You got to meet Mikey and Potty. They took you to like a steak dinner or something. What was going on
VIP
there?
lounge. No, the best place to go on your recruiting trip is Sangria. I don't think
Oh
there's
yeah.
arguing that. Where'd you go?
Where did I go? I think they took me to McDonald's and said, "Hey, here's all your money." I'm playing. No, no sanctions, no sanctions. No. I
Too
can't.
much.
I honestly can't remember. It was
Okay.
something like that though, sangria or somewhere. No, what's the one by where Buffalo Wild Wings is in that parking lot? The nice
That's
one.
Sangria. It's
Oh wait, what
literally
am I?
Sangria,
You're
Stephen.
right. You're right. It was sangria. What's the other one on the corner of downtown?
Visa by
The
Corner
one?
Club?
No, the one downtown on the corner that's nice. It's like a wine bar. It's really small.
Nectar.
Nectar.
No,
Okay, so I had
Miley.
yes. No, Nectar. I had those two mixed up. That's right. So yeah, it was sangria. You're
Okay.
right. I love sangria. One of the best places in Moscow. If you're there,
Oh,
go get it.
go to Sangria. Go get it. So I went to an athlete get together. I think they were playing like bingo or something like that, very casual, very safe at night. And it was my visit, and I walk in and I see this giant man like occupying an entire corner. And he's like intimidating. He's like this intimidating presence. He's got this nice long hair, beautiful locks. And this is my first time like as a high schooler walking in and seeing people way taller than me, honestly. Like I'm always surrounded by people I'm just like towering over. And walking in, seeing that, because there are mostly athletes there, I ask my host, who's that? Because he's the tallest one in the room for sure. And she's like, that is Mike Iupati, nicest guy. He's going first round, like hands down. He's a freak, a really, really good athlete, and so nice. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll probably never ever talk to him. He's too cool, too big time. Wouldn't act big time, but we make our way around, like introduce myself to different people. That's not true at all. They introduce themselves to me because I'm terrified to be there as an 18-year-old. And I walk outside and I like bump the door, kind of hit him a little bit. I was like, oh no, I barely hit him a little bit. And I was like, so sorry. Like just trying to make my way around. He's like, hey, all good. Who are you? And like asked me who I was. And once he heard I was a recruit, he laid out like the best Idaho recruitment plan you could ever hear. Like he was like, you got to come here. There's no way you're leaving without committing, right? Like you love Moscow. Moscow's so great. Like the Kibbe Dome, it's tradition. You got to come here. Everybody's so nice. And I was like, Mike Iupati is recruiting me to Idaho. This is awesome. And he was so kind and so sweet. And he's pretty much always been that way since. And that's like what I tell people every time I see him on TV. Like he is a bad dude on the field and he is so nice off of it. And he had a successful, wonderful career. So shout out Mike Iupati.
Does he remember you? Have you seen him since?
No chance he remembers me. I'm sure I've seen him like come back. I don't know.
See, that's where I saw him. I never met him till literally when I was just coaching at Idaho. He came for like his cousin. He came to his cousin's graduation when I was there 3 years ago. And I saw him at the Corner Club, actually. Shout out Corner Club. And
nice.
Like you said, he might be, in a good way, one of the widest people I've ever seen in my life. Like he is... I'm pretty wide, like shoulder wise, but he's like double me. He was like this, and he's obviously like fit in shape, like, and can run. It's like, it's crazy. And I had a chance to talk to him, and super nice guy. I was getting us drinks and just talking to us about like, and he doesn't even know me. Like, just started talking to me. He's like, oh, you went to Idaho? I was like, yeah, I played basketball here, blah, blah, blah. We just started chatting. It's like, oh yeah, I know who you are, buddy.
What a guy. Just like walking plywood.
Seriously, like, he had to get out of there because it's so tight in there, and he's just like bumping 4 people down.
Oh man, claustrophobia. But we're gonna try to reach out to him, and by that I mean I'm gonna try to reach to him and get him on the podcast and talk to him. Okay, so Corey Toomer, round 5, 2012.
Corey, ended up guy.
Seahawks practice squad for a little bit, and then I think he's out now, out of the league.
Yeah, so he played for the Chargers though. Like he legitimately played for the Chargers for a couple of years. Was actually doing well for them, and now he's not currently in the NFL. That's my guy Corey Toomer. Played a lot of rec ball with him.
Oh yeah, is he a hooper?
I mean, I like basketball players are ridiculous, or he's a ridiculous athlete as a football player. Could jump, skills. So.
Okay, got it.
Good guy though. I like Corey.
Yeah. 2011, easily the best year in Idaho history, draft-wise. Shiloh Ko, round 5. Nate Enderle, QB, round 5. Daniel Hardy, round 7. And all those guys were so nice. I met them, knew them a little bit, but such a great class. 2011. I think that was Akey's last year, or maybe he had 1 year after that.
I think Akey...
middle of his last year. Because
he got fired the next year halfway through, and then... What's his face took over? I can't even think of his name. Jason Gesser.
Paul Petrino.
No, Jason Gesser did.
Yeah.
That was a weird time in Idaho. But
well, it got weirder after everything came down after what he did at Washington State. He was fine when he was at Idaho. Seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah. But those guys, going back to Shiloh and Hardy and Enderle, like that was our freshman year. So that was when Idaho was still playing Boise State, Nevada, Utah State.
Whack. Yeah.
Crazy year for us to get blown out every game. But it was unbelievable to be at those games, seeing the players that the other teams had. It was unreal. Like Colin Kaepernick put 77 on us. Last time Boise State will probably ever play at Idaho, which is ridiculous. But that game, I remember we had to get let in like 2 hours before the game just to sit down so we could have a seat, and it was ridiculous. We just got out of practice and we just like, okay, you guys can get in, but this is the only way you're getting in.
Oh, so you guys were all stinky, like sweaty, nasty, smelly, went straight over to a packed stadium.
people still wanted to talk to us. You know how it is. But
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm joking. No, but it really was that. Weren't you
Not,
guys? I'm pretty sure you
not
guys were
the
right
case.
next to us too. We
Yeah, I'm
literally
sure
had
we were.
to go through the dome because there was literally no tickets.
Standing
But
room only. Yeah.
yeah, that was it. That
It
was
was
interesting.
insane.
Doug Martin was on Boise State. He was their running
That's
back.
right.
And
Wow.
yeah, it was interesting. Though that year was crazy
Loaded.
though. Those teams were so stacked. That our conference was so stacked. It was cool to see that for like the last year. And
And
then
before our time, but Bobby Wagner, Utah State.
the WAC
I'm
was
sure there's
filled with it. I mean, Utah State's had plenty of good players out of there. Nevada was littered with good players. Boise State obviously was a factory at that time. They were filled with and then you throw in Fresno State. They were
right.
stacked. Louisiana Tech started
Carr
getting
brothers.
good. Louisiana
Yeah.
Tech started getting really good towards the end of our time there.
Yeah.
And then they
True.
all went to the Mountain West and left us. They left us for big money, better schools.
Yeah, we were at that year where everything shifted. Like Pac-12 added 2 teams, and then the Mountain West changed, and then the WAC changed, and then the Big Sky changed, and then we had like all those Texas schools in there for our final years. But okay, back to NFL draft. Ryan Phillips, round 3, 1997. So he's the second highest that we've had behind Mike Iupati. Ryan Phillips, shout out.
What position?
Mark.
What position was Ryan Phillips? I've never heard of him.
You've never heard of him?
Nope. I'm sorry. I'm not. I obviously I went to Idaho, but I didn't study their NFL history. I'm sorry.
Ryan Phillips was.
Oh, you don't know. That's why you're asking me. I was about to say,
he's our color analyst on the radio. Oh, really? I believe he might have been a quarterback. No. He was defense. He was definitely defense. He is an Idaho Vandal Hall of Famer. Just cut this part out. He's an Idaho Vandal Hall of Famer.
Nothing's getting cut.
Terrorized quarterbacks. Defensive end. 1995 Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year. 2-time All-American. Total baller. We knew that. It just slipped our minds.
It did. You're right.
It's hard to know that. I mean, 20 years from now, are people going to remember Steven Madison? They'll probably remember me, but like they remember Steven Madison. I don't know.
No, you went to the NCAA tournament. I didn't.
You were better stats. Okay, Mark Schlereth. Guess what round Mark Schlereth went in 1989?
6th.
Nope. That's okay. It's a decent guess, but it's wrong.
Higher or lower?
What do you mean? Seating wise, I was like higher, lower, like worse.
Worse or it's worse?
Higher.
It was only 7 rounds, right? So 7.
Wrong.
Oh, 9.
It's the trick question, Steven.
9.
There were 10 rounds. I believe there were 10 rounds back in the
you're right.
He went round 10. That's so crazy. And back in the day, there were like 13 rounds. And then you look at baseball, who have like 90 million rounds. So Mark Schlereth, 1989, round 10.
Most famous one, probably, at this point.
Yeah.
Probably
most successful NFL career.
Because he won Super Bowls. I don't know if he has as many Pro Bowls as Mike Iupati. I don't think so. Well, does he? I don't know. I don't know if he does.
Tell me what you like about Mark Schlereth as I look it up.
Well, he's obviously his career is unbelievable. He's doing games where he's broadcast. He's in the broadcast booth in NFL games, which is a big step. And he's just an Idaho guy. Like he always reps Idaho, which is awesome. That's always great to see someone at that level that doesn't just shy away from, the Idaho fame.
Right. He's proud of it. The Idaho fame. 12 seasons. Let's see. Super Bowl champion, selected to the Pro Bowl for his performances 91 and 98. Wow, that's 7 years between Pro Bowl appearances. So he did not have as many as Mike Iupati.
Mike's probably the most decorated as individual statistics wise go for well, I guess if you go back, there is some guys that got drafted way back in the day. I'm pretty sure that who was it? Didn't we have a guy, was it Ray Guy? I'm playing that's was it Ray
Kicker? I thought Ray Guy Award is a.
That's a kicker. That's definitely not our Idaho history buff.
Well, okay. If you look it up, we also had Doug Nussmeier.
Yep.
Round 4, 1994. John Breeze, well-known QB, 1990, round 6. I've seen John Breeze name all over the place. Definitely a memorable QB back in the day. And then whenever you're ready to talk about current NFL.
Yes, let's
wrap this thing up with that, maybe.
Yeah, we'll finish it with this because the draft is starting as we speak, and so let's finish this up with basically all these guys I know except for one. Jesse Davis played while we were there. He is on the Miami Dolphins. Interesting story about Jesse Davis is he came into Idaho as a tight end, and he left as an O lineman, and he is growing exponentially.
And he played D-line.
Yeah, he played all over.
D-line,
came in as a tight end, switched to D-line, ends up on offensive lineman now for Miami. Great career for him. That's awesome. He always seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him personally, but I would see him all the time in the weight room. Seemed like he was always a genuine guy. Unbelievable.
Dude, and he had one of the nastiest injuries.
Did he?
He had like blue injury on the field. I can't remember when it was. I think it was his junior year. But he had a few, it was cut open by a cleat, his leg was. And yeah, he's
awful.
He is a tough dude. He was not even like phased by it. I'm excited to see what he does with Miami.
I mean, he's starting lineman for them. He's doing well. Mm-hmm. Chris Edwards. I do not know who this is.
Patrick. He's good friends with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you know who Chris Edwards is? Do you know who Chris Edwards is? I don't know who this is. He plays for San Francisco safety.
He might have been before or after, probably after us.
Date of birth 92. Wait, what?
Okay, so he was there when we were there.
So we just are missing this. It's probably someone we definitely know. Sorry, Chris Edwards.
Benson Mayowa.
Benson Mayowa. Benson Mayowa. Obviously, Benson. Benson's also one of those guys, unbelievable athlete that you could just tell when I would play basketball with him or be around him. He didn't necessarily have the tools coming out or in college, but he just had that pure athleticism. He put some weight on, and it's transitioned to year 8 now. It's pretty amazing what he's been able to do.
Yeah, I think he was out in 13.
Yeah,
on the Seahawks. Gotta love it. He's on the Raiders. Did really well. The Raiders.
Yeah, Caden Ellis for the Saints. His dad, Luther Ellis,
2019,
his dad's all-time player. Good bloodline there. They're really good. They have all their brothers go to Idaho at this moment too, and they're
right. And I believe Christian Ellis has declared for the draft this year, so there's a chance we could see him go round 6 or 7. But Caden had some special teams appearances before he tore his ACL, and Brooke, my teammate, they're married. He married my teammate. Brooke,
that's right, Brooke,
Riley.
That's right.
Yeah, and they have a kiddo, and they're awesome. They're insane. Love the Ellis family.
That's awesome. And then the last one to finish it up is Elijah Penny, brother of Rashard Penny from the Seahawks. Elijah started as a running back. He's the fullback now for the Giants. He's created a career for himself, though. Smart. I mean, it's a smart thing to do. You know, you're a running back. You're not getting the looks. You put on a little bit of weight, just gain strength, and continue your NFL career, you know, to bring more success to yourself and your family, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, he's had to prove himself for sure. But I remember watching some highlights from him, like when I was anchoring, when I was at KXLY as a sports anchor, and I always ran highlights of Idaho Vandals doing stuff in the NFL. And Elijah Penny made his name known. I think it was 2018. He had a big play. I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want to get it wrong. But yeah, Rashard Penny hopefully does some things this year for the Seahawks at running back, coming off ACL tear as well. So
yep. Well, it was good to recap the first round and talk about the other Idaho legends and great with you, Alyssa. And
so much fun.
We will have to do this again.
Yeah, maybe actually live.
Actually live, yes. Maybe we'll recap the whole draft on Monday or something coming up here, and we can do something live with that. But appreciate you guys that are listening and can show your continuous support for us on social media and by viewing our episodes and checking us out, and we appreciate it.
IDAHO, Idaho. Go.
You got to stand up for it. Shout out to Spears, the AD that made us stand. Spear,
not Spears.
Made us stand for every chant whenever you're in the crowd. True Idaho.